Yeah, good evening to everybody, those who are here and also those who are online. Maybe some of them maybe good morning. Yeah, firstly, I'm very happy to be back to OCBC. I think 2 years back I was in a different place, but beautiful then and beautiful now. And yeah, I would like to thank Director Geshe and Bay SPC and all the team who make possible of this visit. I appreciate. And also, yeah, taking care of Dharma Center, especially, when time to time, when you need to move places, it's not easy. It's a really, really hard work. But then again, when we think of the benefit of the existence of the Dharma, not just the Dharma discourse, not just the learning, and also learning and the and the practice, the applications of Dharma teaching to transform the heart, but just even the representations of the Dharma, like such as statues and sculptures, stupas, holy images of the realized masters. Each and every one of them is a relics. It carries the blessings and the qualities of the enlightened one, through consecrations. So just preserving them. Of course, when you have such a material, the representations, and you need a place. So just preserving them, a lot of effort, but immense of benefit, immense of benefit to the world, and in particular that particular region, that particular town, that particular place, and anybody who directly, indirectly come in contact with them. So therefore, it's a great contribution. Those of you who put great effort to preserve them. I was talking with Bay that from the team side, you have to offer all the available facilities, but then sometimes it depends on the karma of the people, whether they come in connection or not, So I think I just want to say that able to preserve up to now and may continue to preserve until samsara end. And you already have brought great benefit to the people that who come in contact, and also those invisible, those non-humans. It's understood that there's not even one single atom where there's no spirits, means where there's no living beings. And there's numberless living beings have benefited like that. So so just want to rejoice what you have achieved, and wishing all the best for future days to come. Yeah. So now tonight, the topics on Buddha nature, which is one of most important topic to be discussed and get discovered. The truth, the the reality of the existence of Buddha nature within. Once you have gained conviction there's existence of Buddha nature, or Buddha nature within, very much the whole perspective about self and the world around the self will change. Change in a most auspicious way, change in a most meaningful way. It's very much like after experiencing lost identity, then later you manage to find your identity, and that identity also is very, very amazing, beautiful, unbelievable, pure, wonderful identity. So that then you is very much that discovery is the most amazing discovery, and that kind of give us the confidence to towards all the goodness, including of enlightenment, including of end to samsara. So it's a very, very important subject. So before we get into discussion on that, so we do short breathing exercise in order to settle our body and mind in the present moment. In particularly, withdrawing our busy mind, in particularly those of the mind that which tied with the concern of the uncertainties of the future, and also the bondage of grasping in relation to the past, past experiences. So simply by placing one pointed focus to the breathing in and out, that will help us to calm our body and the mind, and and you can do that with this bit of breathing, bit lengthy in and out, and try to either have the notions of breathing in and out, or either hear the bit of little sound that breathing in and out. So whichever way that you feel comfortable, do that. Yeah. So we do the breathing exercise another round. So this time when you breathe out, visualize whatever limitations that one may, whatever limitations that one one may carries in relation to physical body, emotion, environment, any sort of negativities, sicknesses, including of the delusions, karmic imprints, ignorant, purifying them. It's very much like when you breathe out, it's like scraping from the entire your aggregates, including of the mental aggregates, and it coming out in the form of like black shoot, and release them far away beyond returned. And when you breathe in, all the blessings and positivities, healings, good energy, virtuous mind, all draw into within your entire five aggregates and get consecrated, and actualize, feel that you actualize purified, pure body, pure mind, and pure becoming pure person and pure environment. So here, not necessarily that you need to focus on the breathing, just breathe naturally, but do more of this visualization. Yeah, so then we recite a few rounds of Guru Shakyamuni Buddha's name mantra. So while reciting it, try to reflect on the qualities of the Buddha, and especially the benefit that Buddha have granted to us through revealing the Dharma in a most complete way, both Sutra and the Tantra, and putting us in a position that if our diligence is enough, it makes, enlightenment just equal to, Buddha's own quality within this very brief lifetime. So that much of blessings that Buddha have, Buddha have brought to us, by him being existent into this world. So just feel absolute presence of the Buddha, including of these holy objects, holy representations, like Buddha statues, Buddha pictures, not just in the material form, but try to feel, try to understand and feel it is absolutely present of the Dharmakaya, the the wisdom bodies of the enlightened state. Then also reflect on the preciousness and the fortune that, the life that we have. Even with this one, reasoning, the meeting of such a complete, Buddha's teaching, Sutra and Tantra, which put us in a position that very fortunate life. Even though within this southern world, it's understood that there will be 1,000 fortunate Buddhas will come to turn the wheel of Dharma. But not all the Buddhas will turn the Dharma, both Sutra and Tantra. Most of the Buddhas will turn only Sutra, will teach only Sutra, not the Tantra. Even those of who teach Tantra, but then not the whole Tantric practices, mostly will teach up to the Yoga Tantra or Kriya or Action Tantra. But the Guru Shakyamuni Buddha, and it is understood, maybe Buddha Maitreya, that 2 or 3 Buddhas will reveal the complete, the entirety of the tools of the Dharma, Sutra, and Tantra. And we are, our life that came into existence at the time of where Buddha's complete teachings are available, and the favorable conditions within our own person, who carry the human intelligence. Not only that, have interests in the Dharma. Not only that, in some degrees, we have even experienced the benefit and saw the reasons to really to continue to cultivate the path. And having those favorable conditions within is also so rare. And you can see in the human realm, there are so many, let's say 8 billion human beings. How many people, firstly, they encounter the Dharma, encounter the Buddha's teaching. Secondly, even they encounter Buddha's teaching, but may not gain interest. But even gain interest, but then there's no availability of all the outer conditions, meeting with the pure lineages, pure, teachings, correct, revealing of availability of the teachers, gurus, and being in the places where we are very much, there's no environment to get inspired to practice. due to overwhelming distractions. But even though, yes, there are a lot of distractions, there's a lot of busyness in our worldly life. But midst of that, we really, able to prioritize the practice of the Dharma. Just an example, today, it's a working day, right? And many of you must be very tired. Maybe some of you even, maybe, end the job earlier hour than before. Or you may have other kind of responsibilities, but then how busy it may be, but then you give your time for the Dharma, and that thing of it is that itself is very, very rare. It's not easy to do that. The busyness and distractions is so overwhelming, not easy. So therefore, really, one of the most meaningful rebirth that we have achieved, this reincarnation of yourself is one of the most favorable reincarnation, which really put ourselves in the position that we can be equal to Buddha within this very lifetime, and what can be more fortunate than that. And we are also have the life in the period where compassionate Buddha exists in the Guru in human form, like His Holiness Dalai Lama. Then I think many of you have met Gyabje Lama Sopa Rinpoche. Really, we learn about the existence of bodhisattvas from the scriptures, and heard them from spiritual teachers, and mentioning amazing qualities, amazing characteristics, which is so admirable. But if there's one real human being who is really adorned with all those qualities, and like Gyabje Lama Sopa Rinpoche, who is very much the reason, even this center exists, which carry the blessing for us to make connection, to even just to this Ocean of Compassion Center. Our spiritual heart, make connection to such a living bodhisattva. And that is really, really amazing, that, this ordinary person has the, great deals of merit that this ordinary person get to experience living Buddhas and living Bodhisattvas. That's unbelievable. Can you imagine how much merit we carries just from this reasoning, to able to have a direct vision, a direct contact of living Buddha, living Bodhisattva. How much merit requires. just think of that. It's unbelievable. So really has all the reasons to be fulfilled. This life is truly fulfilled with all these meanings. By understanding that you carry all these meanings, then whatever challenges that may be out there, health, environment, economic, relationship, any emotional, challenges, whatever they may be, comparing to the meaning that we have, those challenges are just so tiny. It's so small. It's nothing. not even worth to have to kind of pay that much attention, because it's so tiny compared to the greatness of the meaning we carry, greatness of the fortune, blessings that we carry. Those challenges are just like not worth focus. You see, so heart filled with sense of joy, sense of happiness, remembering the kindness of the Buddha and remembering the kindness of all the your lineage gurus, then the spiritual friends, like that. Daya daya o mone maya mena yeso 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 daya daya o mone maya mena yeso. Yeah, so then refresh refuge in Guru Buddha Dhamma Sangha. Those of you who already have refuge, taken refuge. Those of you, in case you have not taken refuge, and simply acknowledge your true nature is a Buddha being, Buddha potential, then with the conditions of virtuous merit, cultivating the conditions of virtuous merits, then this Buddha potential will be actualized in the resultant Buddha Dhamma Sangha. Then on the basis of that, generate altruistic motivation by simply dedicating entire one's existence, in particular this whole life, this very year, this very month, this very week, this very session, to be most beneficial in the service of numberless sentient beings, temporary happiness after the ultimate happiness of enlightenment. Then dedicate for the preservations of the perfect virtues, through learning and through practice. Sangye Jodang Zoje Jonang La Janju Badu Dani Jazun Je Daji Jeje Jebe Zonamai Dola Benje Sangye Drubarai Jo Sangye Jodang Zoje Jonang La Janju Badu Dani Jazun Daji Jeje Jebe Zonamai Dola Benje Sangye Drubarai Jo Sangye Jedang Zoye Jonamala Janju Badu Dani Jazun Daji Jeje Jebe Zonamanje Rola Benje Sangye Drubaraijo Gangi Duzene Zone Dawatam Jebambe Jere Tambe Jene Duen Zebe Godam De La Chanse Doni Ninja Sundo Jube Lama Zeji Zenju Ganji Dendeng Chana Bemo Tenzin Janzo So on them so that you change. Okay, thank you. Okay, so Buddha nature. So first of all, what is Buddha nature? Just simple answer. Buddha nature is referring to the Buddha potential, the potential that carries within ourselves, and that is called the Buddha nature. Mm. So, and so how that potential, came into existence, to simply to understand that is Buddha nature is the innate nature. Is not something that that newly kind of developed within our system or within our being. Is an innate quality. The very time that the sentient being or we came into existence, we came together with that nature, that innate qualities of the Buddha. So is this quality or is this innate nature only possessed by human being, or any living being, possess equally as what we possess? So this Buddha potential or the innate Buddha nature is a quality, the innate quality of every single living beings. Every single living beings, every single spirits, every single animals, every single hell beings, hungry ghosts, gods, demigods, every single bodhisattvas. And that potential is even equal to all the Buddhas of the three times. If that is equal, then how come? If it's equal even to the Buddhas, then how come there's a differences, from us to the Buddha? The innate qualities equal the carries, between Buddha and us, sentient being. But then how come Buddha and sentient beings are so different? The differences is just simply due to whether we are aware, fully aware of that innate quality or not. That's the only difference. For Buddha, because of carrying omniscience, Buddha is aware in three times, past, present, future, fully aware of that innate being, innate quality, or the Buddha nature. We as a sentient being, we are obscured. We are not fully aware of that existence. We may be aware occasionally, or when we meditate, when we learn, we kind of realize that, but we are not fully realized that, not fully awakened. So due to that reason, the Buddha that who have already fully awakened of their true nature, the tools that they use for themselves, who at the beginning level, Buddha of the past and Buddha of the present is no different than us. But using those tools, which is called Dharma, the 84,000 teaching that the wisdom that Buddha have shared, through those tools, Buddha at the beginning, who is similar to us, reached to a fully awakening state. So the obscuration, to be able to purify it, through the broom or through the tools of the antidote, which is the Dharma, which is the Dharma wisdom. So the difference is we are obscured of seeing fully of our true nature, and Buddha is free from obscuration and fully awakened of their true nature. Because of this, bring the differences, even though there's no difference in it is quality of that nature. There's no difference at all between the Buddha being, or the Buddha potential, or Buddha nature. Buddha nature, the nature-wise, our true being nature-wise, which is the Buddha nature, which is Buddha potential. There's no difference between the nature of the Buddha and nature of we sentient being. So now, the Buddha nature that we try to understand as ultimately sameness between Buddha and sentient being. What exactly is that? Yes, even though you have mentioned it is Buddha potential, even though you mentioned it is Buddha nature, it is true being of ourselves. But what it is really is. So then we have to understand the two aspects. So the Buddha nature comes in two aspects: the ultimate Buddha nature, conventional Buddha nature. So we need to know exactly what they are, you see. So the ultimate Buddha nature, which is the nature of our innate mind, it's the nature of our primary innate mind. So that is the ultimate Buddha nature. What is that? The emptiness of the mind. The Dharmakaya nature of the mind. The empty of inherently existing nature, empty of substantially existing nature of the mind, is called the Dharmakaya nature of the mind, or Dharmakaya nature of ourself. You see, so in the nature of the emptiness of the mind, and obviously there's no difference. The nature of emptiness of the Buddha's mind, the past and present Buddha's mind, and nature of the emptiness of the future Buddha, you and us, future Buddha's, the sentient being's mind, there's no difference. Both are equally 100 over 100%, it defined by the definition of lack of inherent existent nature. Nothing less, nothing more than that, right? So there's a sameness in there. That's one of the reasons, say, Buddha nature is in its being. There's a sameness of the nature of the Buddha and nature of our we sentient being. From that point of view. Now, in relation to the understanding of the emptiness, is much more easier to really apprehend in sameness. But now, when we talk about the conventional Buddha nature, this is harder. The conventional Buddha nature here, talking about the luminosity of our mind. The luminosity of our mind is the relative Buddha nature, or the conventional Buddha nature. So now, so luminosity of the mind, which we also use the term the clear light mind. So now, maybe through the definition, maybe easier to kind of understood as a sameness. But when we give an example, And that's a bit hard to find the sameness, the luminosity of the Buddha's mind and luminosity of the sentient being's mind, a bit tricky. Being luminous is the same. Being innately pure, unstained, the nature of the mind. Here, not only not talking about the nature, the ultimate nature of the mind, even the conventional nature of the mind. The conventional, the clear light, the most subtle state of the consciousness. In that luminosity is equal to the Buddha's mind. But when we talk about the Buddha's mind, that luminous Buddha's mind, we are referring to omniscient mind. And for sentient beings, the luminous mind is not omniscient one, right? Our mind, even how clear it is the relatively is not omniscient. If it's omniscient, then we become Buddha. So being clear and pure and unobscured by nature is sameness, but the function, the relative function of that consciousness, that mind, that is difficult to say same as Buddha's mind and our mind. How subtle it may be, you see. So, but anyway, we can still kind of conclude that the relative Buddha nature is very much the clear light mind itself, the luminous state of nature being in its conventional relative nature of our mind. In that level, then it's the sameness. The only difference is the difference is again is not in the innate nature, but like a kind of externally obscured, being obscured. That's why it's not able to function as omniscient. When the obscuration is overcome, then the nature from the mind side is a sameness, even in the relative level. So maybe we can give that kind of reasoning. It makes sense? Okay. So now, so if we need to give an example, let's say something that which our ordinary mind, is the present ordinary, the conceptual mind can able to kind of grasp, like, or maybe this is the mind. When we say just clear light mind is what is really that, there's something that we can kind of pinpoint, and we try to work it on, and that way that this sentient being's relative Buddha nature eventually delivered to become an omniscient mind of the Buddha. So what is really that? What is really that mind within us that we need to catch it, pinpoint, and then work it on it? So what is that? So this is important, right? Because this is why this is so important. Because ultimate level is nothing to work it about, nothing to work about. In the nature of the phenomena, the ultimate Buddha nature is a permanent phenomena. So permanent means there's nothing to work it out. It's a fix. And also there's nothing to define, kind of like getting purer and purer, because it's absolutely pure, equal to the purity, the Dharmakaya state of the Buddha, to the emptiness of the clear light, our own mind. It's nothing more to be purer than that. It's already perfected one, right? But then at the same time, we are not Buddha yet. We have not achieved the Buddha's wisdom body. We have not attained the Buddha's wisdom body yet. Even though we carry, that Buddha being For us, it's still as a potential only. But for Buddha, is no more potential. It's already fully kind of a resultant state, right? So therefore, so you see now, permanent cannot be changed, one thing. So it means emptiness nature cannot be changed. But at the same time, you need to make that emptiness nature of our Dharmakaya need to make a resultant Dharmakaya of the Buddha's body. So how to go about it? And the only way to go about it is developing our relative Buddha nature. That's the only way to bring about the sentient beings, the Dharmakaya nature, resulting to the Buddha's Dharmakaya nature by working on the relative Buddha nature. So now, relative Buddha nature also, we have already said that luminous state. And that luminous is by nature is already luminous. What to work it out? But one good thing about it is it lies in the nature of impermanent. I mean, it is an impermanent phenomena. So the factor can influence. The condition can change. And what changes can bring about by condition is the changes of being more and more awakened. More and more awakened means by working on it, clear the obscurations. The more you clear the obscurations, the more you purify the what you call the delusional obscurations, obscurations will able to make us be more and more awakened, more and more natural. Lead to a initially maybe with effort. Eventually it become like naturally, fully in the state of awakening without even with the effort, like the Buddha does. Because the object is the same, but the subject define whether you are awakened or not awakened. You see, and you cannot be just awakened. Sometimes you have to be fully awakened. What is the meaning of fully awakened? Means spontaneously, ever present knowledge of that true nature. And that's what Buddha carries. That's why I call Buddha is fully awakened. Achieve the fully awakened state means achieve the Buddhahood, right? So now we try to pinpoint that particular that particular Buddha nature, the conventional Buddha nature that need to work it out. So let's say that sensitiveness that everybody carries, that sensitivity, sometimes it express in the form of love. Sensitiveness, sometimes, it carries in the form of compassion. Or sensitiveness, sometimes, if pain arises, you feel inconvenience. There's a sensitivity state of mind. It makes sense. The loving heart is a sensitive mind, right? Even that may be that loving heart may be self-centered loving heart about your own happiness, but still it carries the values, because where this is coming from, that sensitivity is coming from. It is coming from it's one kind of expressions of the luminous mind. If there's no, the clear light mind exists within our system, there's no possibility of having that, those different sensitive emotions. The sensitive emotions are possible because of there's a subtle, subtle consciousness that we possess. Because of that, kind of manifest into different emotions. And certain emotions are negative, even though the root, the mind that expresses is, even though it's a clear-light mind, but then when it fully expresses, it becomes negative emotions, and that negative emotion is just simply because of sidetrack, not having the wisdom. It turns into a negative emotion. But if you have a guide of wisdom, that emotion also can take on to a positive. Let's say heart of love. Heart of love can go either way. The desirous attachment love or selfless unconditional love. At the initial level, it's very very difficult to differentiate. I think through only deep meditation, you can differentiate whether that is really genuine, unconditional, selfless love or conditional, delusional love. Because the expressions of love is still wanting happiness and wish to create, conditions for happiness. So that's called love, right? So now, through the tools of the wisdom, creating a right motivation or right training to that heart of love, can turn this love, even though it may be initially can be negative mind, but then can turn into a absolute positive. And being positive, like unconditional love, if you continue to nurture it, develop it, it can even, develop all the way to immeasurable love, until this love can turn to a bodhicitta. And that bodhicitta, if you continue to develop, it will turn to even becoming an omniscient Buddha's heart. You see? And now here, clearly you can see this can be even resultant as a Buddha's omniscient heart by shaping, the quality, shaping the qualities of this emotional, heart of love. This is the reason because it carries the potential of that qualities of the Buddha. And where this potential came from, as far as concerned with the emotional, this, normal, let's say worldly, the heart of love is a negative emotion. It has to be purified in order to it become a pure. You see, you need to completely transform negative emotion in order to become a positive emotion. The negative emotion cannot carry its lineage to a positive, like a DNA, the negative emotions DNA cannot become the positive. In order to become a positive, like say Buddha's quality, the delusional characteristic has to be fully purified. Then you can able to transit to like a transcendental wisdom and Buddha's omniscient qualities, etc. You see, so therefore, the training the mind, such as this emotional love, can be transformed because whenever the applications of the antidote, applied, such as, such as like the ordinary desirous attached mind into altruistic state of like a pure kind of loving state of mind, just by applying the antidote, it brings up a purifications of the limitations or the negativity side of that emotion. And that's how that it will kind of able to transit into a positive state of mind, that until that it can lead to become a Buddha's holy mind. So anyway, so here the example is that loving heart, that compassionate heart, or that sensitivity, like even the sensitivity heart of liking happiness and have a sense of aversion to suffering. When someone kind of treat you nicely, that sense, sensitivity of feeling happy. When someone hurts you, the sense of feeling of unhappiness. And this mind is the mind that which we need to train. If there's anything to be purified, that this mind has to be purified. Within this mind has to be purification has to happen. If this mind if this Buddha potential can develop until the becoming resultant Buddha's quality, the Buddha's omniscient mind, there's no other mind to turn to become a Buddha's omniscient mind than this mind, the continuum of this mind. You see, so we cannot say, you cannot just kind of like suddenly change this ordinary sentient being's mind to a Buddha's omniscient mind. It is continuum has to be, continuum has to be become from an ordinary mind to Buddha's holy mind, right? As I mentioned before, otherwise, negative becoming positive. If negative becoming positive, then there's no meaning for purification. So you need to purify. So purify, but the negative side had to be purified. But if negative mind purified, then what goes on? What goes to the next? Since that whole negative mind is purified, almost like there's no mind left, because it is negative and it is purified. Now, then what really become? Eventually, what really become? Relatively, what really become? The relative qualities of the Buddha. I mean, there should be some kind of lineage, isn't it? The Buddha's omniscient mind need to have a lineage that can be traced all the way to the mind of one ordinary sentient being. But that ordinary sentient being's mind cannot become Buddha's omniscient mind. Directly cannot become. It means impure become pure. It makes sense? It's making sense? You see, so this human aggregates, this at the moment the human aggregates are understood as a samsaric aggregates, including the mind. This Tenzin Zopa's mind is samsaric mind. It's not Buddha's mind. It's a samsara. My body is samsara. My mind is samsara. I am samsara. I am samsaric person. Because I am contaminated by karma and delusion. That's why samsara, right? My mind is contaminated by karma and delusion. That's why samsara. So the samsara, without purification, samsara cannot suddenly become Buddha, right? Samsara cannot be suddenly become the quality of liberation. It cannot. So you need to have a purification. So if whole samsara purify, then what goes? What goes to what transit to Buddha? What transit to Buddha's body? So this samsaric body one day will become Buddha, isn't it? Like each and every one of us, one day going to be Buddha. So if that's the fact, then who becoming Buddha? Of course, you and me becoming Buddha. But how do you claim that you become Buddha? In what basis? In what basis that you can claim now you become Buddha? It's not like magic. It's not a suddenly magic spell like turn this stick into elephant, into Buddha, right? This contaminated aggregate suddenly turned to is enlightened Buddha's body, right? So something has to go. And the samsara will not go to nirvana, right? In order to go to nirvana, samsara need to be purified. Then only go to nirvana. So what goes? So it is only goes, it is continuum. That's why there's a great quality of being impermanent. To the relative, Buddha nature being impermanent, carry, in fact, all the qualities that make possible samsara can be purified and Buddhahood can be achieved. The result in Buddhahood can be achieved. The potential can really able to deliver the quality of being, having the potential of Buddha. It makes sense? Yeah? I'm also confused, but it makes sense. I also don't know what I'm really saying, but make little sense, but not 100%. So I need your help. So if you truly don't make sense, just tell me. We all cease right here. We stay back to samsara. Okay, so so even not just the mental aggregates, even in entire our five aggregates. The five aggregates as a gross body and subtle gross aggregates and subtle aggregates. And the subtle aggregates, you see, it always exists there in its continuum. Because if the subtle aggregates also cease, then the basis of person cease. As a person, as a living being, we live forever, right? Human being dies, but as a living being never dies. Our being never dies, but we as a human being, one day we will die. So now what is really kind of sustaining forever existence of that living being is through the basis of subtle body. And it's starting from the subtle mind, subtle mental body, and even subtle physical body, which is not a tangible kind of thing, but it's so subtle that which even a microscope also cannot detect. But there is a subtle body, which also we call that, which is all pervasive in three times: past, present, and future. Even a person, there's a person that which is all pervasive, past, present, and future, and there's a person that which only exists in one lifetime. So the person as a human being only exists in this life. But there is a living being into this person, which exists in the past, which exists now, which also will exist in the future. That's why we can claim our reincarnation, right? Otherwise, how to claim? So it's as if like there's a one DNA that which never leave us from beginning until we become Buddha, and that existence is not as a permanent phenomena. It exists as an impermanent phenomena. It exists in this manner of continuum, and that serves as also a basis of our ultimate Buddha nature exists in all three times: past, present, and future. Because otherwise, our ultimate Buddha nature have no basis to claim as the ultimate nature. You see. So anyway, this is more like it's kind of debating kind of subject. So so anyway, the point is that in fact, all our emotions are expressions of that relative Buddha nature. In another word, all our emotions. the way to work it out to develop this relative Buddha nature all the way up to becoming Buddha is, if the emotion is negative, harmful, then what you have to do is you have to purify them through the tools of the Dharma. Let's say if it's ego, then use the tools of Dharma as a wisdom of emptiness, the emptiness knowledge to purify them. Let's say if the emotion is jealousy, but it is still expressions of the relative mind, right? But it is not helpful. It is actually serve as an obstacle to fully manifesting of that relative Buddha nature into a resultant Buddha. So what we need to do is we need to purify them. So say if it's jealousy, then Buddha taught the teaching of rejoicing, let's say. So you cultivate the antidote rejoicing, and that jealousy mind will be purified. But the purification is not losing the continuum of the potential. It's just losing the expression. Is how to say? Yeah, it is losing the expression, like very much like a sun and sun rays. The rays of the sun and the sun. You see, so the emotions are very much the rays of the sun. It's just like kind of shining out there. By clearing the rays, it doesn't raise the sun, right? But you can actually kind of make go away the sun rays. Let's say you go into the shade, you let the sun's light go away from you. But that didn't help to completely eradicate the sun. So similarly, we can do that to our mind. If there's any negative emotion, we can delete them. We can stay away from them. How to do that is by replacing by the antidote, the virtuous mind. So now, again, from the point of view of the ultimate nature of how phenomena exist, because there's no substantially existent. There's no substantial existent negative mind out there. There's no substantial existent positive mind out there. There's no substantial existent sentient beings there. There's no substantial existent Buddha is there. So therefore, it's simply fixing our perception. Turning the perception, something is harmful, then turn into a positivities by replacing them. And that's the way, I think, how we call as purification of the obscuration. And the more and more you purify those of the disturbing emotions, naturally you start to kind of see clearer and clearer of the wholeness of the true nature of the Buddha. And one day when all these obscurations are completely purified, you manage to kind of fully see fully kind of awakening of seeing the quality that which you already have, pre-existing quality. It's very much like this, what do you call the luminous mind is very much like the sky. Right, and the cloud and the storms is the obscurations, and the sky is luminous all the time there. But then you cannot see because of the obscurations of the storm and the cloud. So if we really want to see the wholeness of the clarity of the sky, nothing need to work it out with the sky. You just need to purify the storm, to purify the cloud. When you clear the cloud, it's always the sky, the luminous sky is always there. So it's very much similar like that, right? So very much similar like that. So in short, in Buddhist, in what Buddha omniscient is discovered, discover the Tadagarbha or the Buddha nature within all sentient being. So through his omniscience, he discovered that. You see, innate Buddha. He discovered that all of us innately is pure. All of us innately is no different than the Buddha. You see, so becoming Buddha is simply discovering which already pre-existing within among us. So all the limitations is a confusion. It's very much like functioning our life in the sleep. And very much in the sleep we're having this nightmare, the bad dream, disturbing dreams. So when you wake up, when you clear the night or the darkness, whatever the sleep, then it's no more there. So simply is when you completely purify the dualism, then fully purify the entirety of dualism. The dualism, it come in the form of delusion. It come in the form of obscuration. You see, delusions like attachment, grasping, aversion, ego, etc. You see, so why call dualism? Because in the minds of the delusion, you see something is not truth. You perceived false as a truth. You carry that fabricated kind of like a polarized kind of mind, fabricated mind. We also call it hallucinated mind, right? Hallucinated mind or delusional mind. So very much when you purify them, then you manage to see the absolute truth about self. And when you see the absolute truth about self in fully, you see the Dharmakaya being, and that is your being. And Dharmakaya being is a Buddha being, to whom we call as a Buddha is the Dharmakaya being is to call Buddha. You see, so so Buddha have discovered through the tools of his purifying his dualism, purifying his delusions, obscurations. He discover after he's discovered the omniscient means knowing entire existence in it is absolute truth, not false. So what he discovered in all sentient being, he discovered the same nature as what Buddha himself carries. So that's one of the confidence that we need to develop. First, I mean, at least have a kind of interest to know the Buddha's discovery. And the way to really gain, genuine conviction is through logic and reasonings, through analytical observations. As briefly mentioned before, through the analytical observation, try discovering the ultimate Buddha nature through the tools of analytical tools of how to know emptiness. When you know the emptiness of self, you will know the emptiness of the aggregates. When you know the emptiness of aggregates, you will know the emptiness of the mind. You see, so and there you discover ultimate Buddha nature. You see, so by doing so, then the method aspect of teaching, like learning about possibility of that our heart can develop into an altruistic kind of heart, and giving a very simple reasoning, the love and compassion. Everybody has love and compassion. At least to one person, to yourself, right? Everybody, one happiness, that is a love to oneself. Everybody do not want to suffer, at least to oneself, and that's compassion. And learning that this love and compassion also can express to more than oneself, and which even how ordinary the people can be, in our own ordinary life experiences, we know that we can do that. We express love to our parents, our family members. We express compassion to our family members. We want our family. We want our parents to be always happy, and we put a lot of effort to bring happiness to them. We do not want our parents to suffer, and we find every ways to kind of prevent any conditioning of suffering. So that proven to ourselves that this love actually can be expanded, from a very small to one person to a two person. And sometimes we realize, I can express this love and compassion to more than two people, many people. I can express this love and compassion even to a non-human people, non-human beings. Like many people love pets, isn't it? Dogs, cats. They are not human, but then you love them so much. You have so much compassion to them. And that's proven to us that, this heart can expand to these amazing qualities of heart, which call love and compassion, which is, anybody would appreciate it. Anybody express love to you, you will surely appreciate it. Anybody express compassion to you, surely will appreciate. And even to an animal, when you express, they respond to you. They like it. And occasionally, sometime, like you feel, if some disasters happened, you really feel for them. But you have no relation to them. And there are a great amount of people who are suffering. You just naturally feel that I don't want them to suffer this way. Your heart get hurt, right? So that proven that this heart can grow so big. And that's up to then is already become a great compassion. And until that, if you continue to train, you can really express this heart to entire living being. You don't even need to know how many living beings out there, but as long as there's a living being who need happiness, may they have happiness. Who don't want to suffer and they are suffering, you really wish that, all of them not to suffer. That means your compassion and love, now it become boundless, immeasurable. And that kind of fully matured kind of love and compassion now become what? Bodhicitta. And this bodhicitta continue to develop to be more, natural and sustainable. And the fully matured bodhicitta become what? Buddha's omniscient mind. And that state, your relative Buddha nature now, fully resultant as a Buddha's mind, the Buddha's omniscient mind. And even it manifests into the tools to bring benefit to the sentient being, like such as Buddha's form body. Is understood that by developing, by developing this, our, what do you call by developing the relative Buddha nature, the meritorious result, what we will achieve is a Buddha's form body. We call the Buddha's Sambhogakaya form body, like the Taras body, medicine Buddha's body. 26 bodies are Sambhogakaya Buddha's body. It also will manifest into a Nirmanakaya Buddha's body, like such as Shakyamuni Buddha's body, like such as like great realized, gurus, who come and benefit, like the Bodhisattvas, they manifest into different kind of forms that which can reach directly to us. Like one of the greatest example is, those realized living gurus that who manifest in a very much same level of yourself in the ordinary way, so that we can communicate them directly, like which we don't have, have such a kind of close communication with the Sambhogakaya aspect of the body. Only the Arya Bodhisattvas would do, you see. So these are the result of developing the relative Buddha nature. So now here, what I'm trying to do is that we need to convince that, if this relative Buddha nature, an example, we have given is that sensitiveness, that loving heart. Initially, that loving heart also can be possible, self-centered loving heart. Fine, doesn't matter. But this can be developed. We just have to get to understanding that this can be developed. And this can be developed so great until it becomes bodhicitta. Just now my broken English, I don't know whether it makes sense or not, but what I'm trying to do is like make sense to it, It's a gradual kind of like transformation take place. And until the transformation is so great that until it becomes Buddha's omniscient mind. And when you reach to that stage, the merit is so powerful. We call the merits of method. In Buddhist teaching talks about the main job that we do by practicing Dharma is to create two kind of merits. Merit of method, merit of wisdom. So the merit of method, the result is Buddha's omniscient mind and Buddha's form body. Merit of wisdom, it delivers the fully awakening state of the Buddha's wisdom body, the Dharmakaya bodies of the Buddha. You see, so we need to we have to convince, logically, using our own, the present kind of potential of, that can be developed, can be transformed. Our mind can be transformed. Our limitations completely can be purified. We can gain all the quality that Buddha has. What is the qualities of Buddha? The immeasurable love, immeasurable compassion. That's the qualities of the Buddha. The fully omniscient state of the bodhicitta mind. And we sometimes, even in this present moment, when our hearts are inspired by the environment, really, you kind of develop that one moment, I want to liberate numberless sentient beings by myself alone, to all the way up to the state of Buddhahood, right? You really mean it, you're not just saying, you really mean it. Sometimes that kind of inspiration comes. So that also a proof that I can be Bodhisattva. I can become Bodhisattva. That's the proof. You see, then that bodhicitta, if you continue to develop, then you can become Buddha. You see, so that is the conviction that we need to gain. You see, in relation to understanding of that we carry Buddha potential. If we are not clear about that we have Buddha potential, then we kind of not really sure what we are working for. It's kind of like maybe, maybe I'm wasting my whole life, practicing Dharma, But if you are very sure that I carry this, Buddha nature, Buddha potential, and also the meaning of Buddha potential and how this is going to turn into a resultant Buddha, then how much, hardship there may be on the path, that you will be fully determined, will never give up. And even in this life, you didn't manage to become Buddha, you will make sure that, you will continue the path. Even it takes countless eons of lifetime, you will never give up. Because end result is definitely there, right? So otherwise, there's a danger of becoming seasonal, kind of like a practitioner. When happy, then oh yeah, Buddha is possible. Dharma is working. When trouble comes in our way, I better give up. Maybe it seems like I'd rather be happy at the beach, happy with a burger. Not, since there's not much hope in meditation or study of Dharma, And so, yes, so then we become like very stable, on the path, stable on the path. Our commitments are so stable. Then when we take like Bodhisattva precepts, tantric precepts, even when we take refuge, it's like so solid. It's like you really mean it, So I was talking before, like, refuge. It's like the first starting of the real Dharma path. I think real spiritual path, kicks in when we truly practice the refuge. The real kind of progress at the start, towards becoming Buddha. Is when we really kind of plant the seed of enlightenment. You see, and that's the practice of refuge in Buddha Dharma Sangha. We can understand like this. You say Buddha nature is already there, then why we need to practice refuge? You may think like that. Why we need to practice refuge? Because Buddha nature is already there. And as long as, I just do good thing, it's good enough. And why need to take precepts? Why need to take initiations? Why need to take Bodhisattva vows? Why even need to take, why need to be so kind of religious, spiritual kind of, everybody carry Buddha nature and just do good thing. It's good enough, right? There's a huge difference, really taking the commitment and practicing them and just doing good thing alone. It's good, just doing good thing is a great benefit, but still there's a lot of limitations. So here it's like this. Buddha nature is very much like a really potential seed, but until that you practice like the precepts, it's very much you lock inside a box, the seed in the box, and lock it. Maybe like metal box. So yes, it carry the potential, but it will never fruition from this seed, right? Let's say apple seed, locked into a metal box because it's so precious, because it's carry the most delicious apple potential. So you lock it. And even you put on the altar and make offerings or whatever you want to do also. But lock it like a relics. But it will never grow into an apple tree. It will never bring apple. But in order this fully potential apple nature, like the Buddha nature, then that seed need to plant in the ground. So we carry this Buddha nature. Now it's very much like locked inside the box. And now in order to result to become Buddha, you need to take out this seed potential out of that box, and you need to plant into the ground. And that's the purpose of refuge. Yes. Yes. Or maybe I will finish this, then I will go back to you, okay? So you see, so the refuge is like this, you see, planting the seed into the ground. So the moment when we take refuge, we really practice the precept, which is very much practice the antidote, the Dharma, the path. Then the seed is already on the ground, So then you continue to, so after that, in order the seeds to grow steadily, you make sure that all the weeds and all the obstacles in the ground to be, clear, all the time. And that is the purification practice. That all the time just engage in purification. I think whatever we do, even learning Dharma, do whatever practices we do, everything carries the element of purification. So just purifying obstacles is not good enough. Like the seed to grow, you need to plant water timely, you need to have sun timely, you need to put fertilizers, then will grow. Just clearing obstacle and don't put water at all, it doesn't work, right? So the one of the job of practicing Dharma is accumulating merit. So by doing these two jobs, then this seed will steadily grow and will result apple. So after take the refuge, then the job is do purification practice and do accumulation of merit, and this Buddha potential will be fully resultant into Buddha's wisdom body and Buddha's form body. That's it. Okay, now.
So I need to rewind a little bit, go back to when you talked about the negative emotions and purification and all that. So, I mean, from what I understand about neuroscience, we need to, the brain needs to work towards something rather than say, like you tell a child, instead of saying don't run, you say walk. Right. So in the context of this thing about negative emotions, is part of the sort of aspiration to reach a stage where we are not, we call it the ability to be with anything, in other words, good or bad, crisis or happy, joyful events, is the idea to be able to be with anything rather than getting hooked or reacting and then going down the route of the negative emotions that you talk about.
Yeah.
Is that the aspiration? Like to sort of like be at peace with whatever comes?
It's very much, I think, abstract meaning out of any good or bad comes in our way. Extract a meaning, beneficial meaning, which is we also call taking everything onto the path to enlightenment. See, so anything that which is hurtful, bring inconvenience, then you take as a purification instead of being so negative about it. You recognize that this is hurting you, this is not good to you, it is not good to other, then you eradicate them from your system. We also call purify them. But the way to purification, the way to get rid of is by transforming them onto the path. Like there are many, many different forms of practices, like a practice of Tonglen, practice of taking and giving, or reflecting on the Dharma, like karma, thinking of karma. why I go through this obstacle. Instead of complaining about it, feel so bad about it, rather feel so amazing that this is result of my past action, and now result is experiencing, and I take the opportunity to purify from its root by letting go, by seeing negative as a negative, harmful as harmful, and through the understanding of the karma, you will understand where it is coming from, and ultimately you will know that it's come from due to ignorance, due to different form of negative emotions. So you kind of take the opportunity to cleanse your entire negative systems. Any good thing comes in your way, you rejoice. You even enhance them. It's so very much extract beneficial meaning in all experiences. Here not kind of like, okay, you are so negative and you complain, and it's kind of like, how to say, as if there's some kind of solidness is out there that you need to like put into a trash. No. Especially in the practice of the altruism, bodhicitta, the Mahayanic practice, very much every experiences, you try to see through the eyes of compassion, through the eyes of meaning in bodhicitta. That's where the purification happens, like that. You get what I say?
I mean, it's sort of like saying, there is a saying that we got from a book where the guy says, everything sucks, it's okay. Everything's great, it's okay. I mean, that's what we're aiming for.
That's not okay. Everything is harmful, then it's definitely not okay. That's why you need to purify them. Anything is good is very okay. You should even get more. Right.
I don't think.
But there's a way to do
my question.
But there's a very wise way of doing this. Getting rid of those something is not okay. Then you don't have to kind of be so angry and so upset about it. There's a many wise way to kind of like cleanse it. And the wise way is like, reflecting the true nature, the ultimate nature, through the eyes of wisdom or emptiness, see their true nature. And there's a very wise way of purifying those unwanted things. And very compassionate way. If it's something to do with the feeling, something to do with people, or even a certain situation, but it is hurting you as a sentient being, you as a living being, you have to deal with it much gentleness. You cannot get upset because someone hurts you, or this situation kind of bothers you.
That's the not getting hooked.
Yeah. You cannot hooked. Don't hooked. Cannot hooked. But you cannot ignore also. Cannot bypass. You have to deal with it. So deal wisely. So as a Dharma practitioner, then deal everything with the wisdom of Dharma, or applying those beneficial attitudes, towards those situations. You see, instead of reacting to the situation negatively, in the eyes of wisdom, you're just checking, this such a hurtful kind of experience. Does that really exist the way how it appears to me? And first place is there a person, me out there, the way how I perceive to be? So this is like emptiness way of dealing the negative situation. And this is also one of the best way to purify that negative experiences. Because if you just be patient and give a pause before reacting the usual way, the emotional way, rather you try to learn the situation with the wisdom, very much, just trying it out, already you start to lose the grief of that kind of like tight grasping onto it. You already start to feel kind of like easiness, And if you continue to learn the situation, investigate the situation through the eyes of wisdom of emptiness or no self, and end result is that you won't find at all out there, and then you realize that upsetting that situation actually is just simply through confusion, and you clear your confusion and you experience liberation out of that problem, and that's not easy as not easy as what we say, but there's the greatest benefit is actually in there, and we need to train ourselves to to deal in any situation in that way. And the training usually is not when the situation arises. The training has to do when there's no such situation, and through visualization in the most comfortable way, most comfortable time. That time, then you kind of create the situation in your visualization, and you design your antidote in your mind, the wisdom, and try to exercise it and make it. This is called meditation. So the more you repeat such a meditation, your mind get well habituated. So when the real situation arises, because of the habituation, it arises naturally, easy. The more you meditate, the more you bring habitual to your exercise, the more natural it arises, more easy it arises, that wisdom. So even before situation arise, even you see the little side of the situation, actually your system is already occupied by the wisdom, so situation cannot affect you. So most of the time is we only apply the Dharma. We know so much Dharma, and you people know more than me. And you have a very nice language, to how to edit them, understand them. But sometimes it's not working because of when situation arises, then you try to apply that Dharma. It doesn't work. Most of the time, almost 99% you will fail. And we think Dharma is not working. No, because we didn't really prepare, rightly. So that's why in a good time, we need to meditate, we need to study, we need to practice. Then difficult time, we are ready to win over the negative experiences, This is what all our masters does, including we train not just able to overcome those minor situations, able to even overcome the fear of death. No question about overcome the suffering of maybe wound or pain or diseases. They even able to overcome the tragedy of like separation from your aggregates, the death. That's why the good trained practitioner, when death comes, they're excited, they're happy. They're confident of their practice, so they don't fear. You see, our great masters, even witness in my lifetime. I think I shared this in a session link yesterday. The Kopan's late abbot Lamanhundup, just a day before, about a week before he passed away, he got a cancer experience, and water retention, and this very, for the nurse, for us, when you see, it's a terrible pain, and some more they don't prefer to take morphines and all the painkillers because they want to utilize that onto the path. And he literally, see things with the eye in the eyes of emptiness. Instead of pain, like big eye, like so that his mind is so clear. I think that's the day before he passed away. Lama Subaramachi came to see him, and of course initially he expressed that he know that he's dying, and said, "May all your obstacles ripen upon me, so that may you live long and fulfill all your wishes." Then after that, he say, you exist out there, but do not exist the way how it appears to exist. So it's really seeing absolutely in emptiness. And that time you can see they are not even affected by that, the pain, the physically what they're going on. You see, so like that, and I saw that in my late master Geshe Lama Koncho. His experiences one whole year, like every single day you see the degenerations of the physical body, but then they become more and more kind of like a uplifted, and feel thankful, rejoicing, and full of energy, But physically, it's like, whoa, you can see it's like something tearing away, like from inside, from such a big size, getting like, until it just become like a bone, then eventually died, right? And there's no disturbance of hallucinations. We understood that every is a natural occurrence of hallucinations, and the hallucination in relation to the dissolutions of the elements, and worse than that is the hallucination in relation to the dissolution of the conceptual mind. It's so fearful. But when you have a practice, then all these are actually is a marvelous tools to kind of purify those gross mind and guide to the subtle state of mind, and to utilize the clear light onto the path, and there they become Buddha, etc. So it's not just talking, but it's really people really showing the absolute impact of their Dharma trainings, Dharma practices. I think I'm sure among here, I think many of you have been practicing a long time, or some even maybe practicing just recently, but really seriously applying the Dharma knowledge, like let's say understanding impermanent nature. You say, the problem is really, it appears to be so huge, but then quickly you apply the knowledge of Dharma on impermanent. How great, how big the problem is, but nature lies in impermanent, it will not last there. So you kind of relax. But in the first appearance, it's like whole world problem like falls onto you, This is natural occurrence to our ordinary mind. But the moment you apply the wisdom of Dharma, even just simple wisdom of Dharma, of understanding the relative nature, like impermanent, you kind of become relaxed. Or suddenly maybe like you're is striking a lottery is real in the United States. Is it real or no? It's quite real. Okay, let's say you extract a billion, you suddenly extract how many $1 trillion. Of course, there's a danger of getting faint or heart attack or whatever, or maybe like just like float, whatever, I don't know. But then if you apply Dharma wisdom, then it's like, this also lies in the nature of emptiness, nature of impermanent. So, yes, okay, good. And with that wisdom, you will have a lot of beneficial leading other wisdoms. Now, I'm going to use this in the most meaningful way, instead of like already thinking about how to misuse it, the success or the gain, etc. You see, so it just kind of like keep us very grounded in all situations. It's very pacified, very peaceful state of our mind, like that. I usually give an example like, the nature is like every day growing old, isn't it? But in many part of the conventional world, if suddenly someone say, now you look much older than last year, you'll be offended, right? But in the eyes of Dharma, in a very simple way, he say you feel so grateful. You say thank you very much. Kind of like you make me realize that I managed to live this precious human rebirth another extra year from last year. I said, wow, I didn't realize. And you make me realize, So one day you say, oh, wow, you're so old, you'll be so happy to hear instead of like feel offended, So anyway, okay, I think, yeah. Any other questions? Yes, please.
Thank you for the beautiful teaching,
Thank you.
Geshe. I just wanted to add a little bit more in the question of, yeah. So I think the ultimate understanding of the wisdom of emptiness really is very profound, and it really helps deeply in the practice. One of the other things that I always thought about is the wisdom of duality, the duality of nature, and I wanted to ask you if you can talk a little bit about that, because I think understanding that wisdom as well helps in the way to deal with the negative and the positive, negative emotions and positive emotions because of the different perspectives.
Yeah.
Could you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. The duality is also misconception. Again, in the eyes of the wisdom of emptiness, there's no substantial existence as something is innately negative, something is innately positive. You see, so just simply know them. The differences in the relative world, but it is true to the relative, but it is false. So we also cannot deny good and bad is like same. Good and bad is two different things. We are not kind of in the understanding of the wisdom of emptiness. Not making everything as the same. You see, so ultimately it's the same, but relatively there are differences. You see, but then the being true to the relative is only true to the relative, but is not. It is false to the ultimate, and there you seize the dualism. You see, so therefore, the seeing them as illusion alike, is so real, but it's not real. It's so real because we experience, the bad things really affects. Good things also affects, and it's a dream. Like in the dream, it's a certain bad dream. It really affects you, and certain good dreams is affects you. Even when you wake up, you wake up with a bad, very scary dream. It's like you wake up with a lot of fear. And very auspicious dream, you wake up with smiling. But it is true to the dream world, but it's actually is false. There's no such thing. So you can still experience it, but you can still stay away from grasping. Because grasping lead to suffering. Grasping lead to a disappointment. It's good because when it sees, it's disappointment. And it is a bad, the grasping itself bring inconvenience to you, even in the very first moment. Even sensually, emotionally also bring inconvenience to you. You see, so is the wisest is to lose the grasping from very first moment. So even these good and bad experiences in the world, that is real. But since it is false to the ultimate level, then we have a choices not to grasp onto it. If it is truth also to the ultimate, then then there's no harm of grasping. So therefore, we have a benefit of not to grasp all our relative experiences by seeing the false of the dualism. By understanding no substance from its own side. So something like that. Yeah. So the one of conclusion in the meditation of emptiness is very much we divide our day-to-day time, or whenever our five senses are engaging with its object. During those periods, it's all post-meditation session where you engage in the illusional-like meditation on emptiness, seeing everything as illusional-like. Even telling yourself, whenever we experience something, you say, yes, it's so real, but it is illusional-like. Even that communication also help us to kind of slowly, have a space to release from the bondage of grasping. Then whenever it's, you have some kind of peaceful environment, mentally, environment, in externally, then, the absorption kind of meditation, completely absorb single-pointedly in that emptiness. These two are the kind of, the tools that we train eventually to realize the wisdom of emptiness. Or the more you do this, you become less and less attached, less and less grasping. So maybe something like that. Okay? Yeah. Okay. If no more, or online, all okay? Please.
Geshe, I'm just thinking, like, there's some nights where you wake up in the middle of the night and something is bothering you, and then, like, you can't fall back asleep. So I'm just thinking about how to apply what you've been teaching us to that kind of situation. Like, maybe you sit down, like, during a quiet time and you meditate and you bring up that experience of being awake in the middle of the night and not able to sleep, and you try to, like, just remind yourself that like the impermanence of whatever it is that's keeping you up, and like just reflect on like the nature of those problems, and then just try to and then when it happens in the middle of the night, you just try to bring back that experience that you had when you were meditating. Is this correct?
Yeah.
Or can you, because this is a real problem, waking up in the middle of the night and not being able to fall back asleep.
Yeah, this you can apply what you have said, like that, or sometimes just one-pointedly try to like do a deep breathing in and out. That can also kind of withdraw your mind, focusing or indulging in other kind of thoughts. Yeah, and then one of very effective one is, if you cannot sleep, get up and do some readings, do some chantings, recitations of mantra. You just take that time as your, especially if you have daily commitments, then that's the best chance to complete all your commitments and Then, the sleeping say, please let me sleep, The moment you start to do your commitments, then the sleeping will come and request, stop the commitment, I need to sleep. So you need to, you sometimes don't kind of like try to, you try to be a bit mischievous back. You want to tease me like that? I know how to tease you back, So you want to, okay, good. You want to be awake? Okay, I'm awake. Okay, come on. Now I do my daily sadhanas, serious meditations, like that, Then, that works the best actually. Compared to the earlier two methods. Yeah. So no one on the, so maybe it's not. Okay, so maybe then we can stop. Yeah. Unless you have any other questions? No? Okay. Okay, so we do short dedication. So firstly, just rejoice, as I mentioned before in the beginning. To have the opportunity to, discuss on the Dharma wisdom that, Buddha have taught, try to get understand on them. And especially, we had opportunity to discuss on Buddha nature. So without doubt, and especially we even mentioned a few times of just even pronouncing the name emptiness, based, what is stated in this, in the Paramita Sutras, just saying even the name of emptiness is shatter the ground of samsara. So that much great purification happens, and great accumulations of merit happens. So whatever merit we accumulate through this session, and whatever merit we accumulate in the past, that are going to accumulate in the future, all the merits of the three-time Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Gurus, and sentient beings, may this collective merit be complete cause for numberless sentient beings to be free from oceans of samsaric suffering. It is causes karma and delusion, and actualized from temporary happiness up to the ultimate happiness of enlightenment accordingly. And also dedicate, may this collective merit be complete cause, whatever inconvenience that is happening in the world, like such as war, natural disaster, different form of diseases, be purified them without delay even a moment, and the world will be a peaceful place to live, and every people, every being, only enjoy peace and happiness and virtue and enlightenment accordingly. May this collective merit be complete cause. Anyone who pass away, in particular those who pass away in the war zone, in natural disaster, in accident, in experiencing untimely death, even they pass away naturally, but pass away with so much pain, hallucinations. May they be free from suffering of death, suffering in limited state, suffering of rebirth, and actualize higher rebirth in Buddha's pure realms, and within that very lifetime actualize state of enlightenment accordingly. May this collective merit be complete cause. Anyone who requested prayers from our gurus, who requested prayers from our sanghas, who requested prayers from our monasteries and nunneries and all the Dharma centers, and anybody who have requested prayers from you, to whom you think they need prayer meritorious supports, those are people who request prayers from me. May this collective merit be complete cause for them to actualize all their prayers, all their aspirations and wishes be fulfilled accordingly as they wish, they aspire. May this collective merit be complete cause, all the beneficial beings for the peace and happiness of the world, like such as His Holiness the Dalai Lama, all your spiritual gurus, yourself, your family members, always enjoy good health, long life, and fulfill all their aspirations accordingly. May this collective merit be complete cause, our most precious Guru, Chapcha Lama Suvaram, all his holy wishes be fulfilled. May we have the meritorious conditions to actualize its unmistaken reincarnation in person. And may the reincarnation have all the conducive environment to carry Chapcha Lama Suvaram, his legacy, if not more, but just like what he did in his previous life, entirety of his energy in the service of sentient being in the most perfect way, and in the service of preservation of the Dharma, by upholding perfection in all the precepts, individual liberation precepts, Bodhisattva precepts, tantric precepts, and be a great inspiration for all of us in the highest standards of moral ethics, and of great wisdom and great compassion and service. May this collective merit be complete cause, all the virtuous institutions like monasteries and nunneries, all the Dharma centers, especially all the Dharma centers in North America, and especially here, oceans of, oceans of compassion, be free from inner outer secret obstacles, actualize all the conducive conditions to preserve the Dharma in extensive learning, and actualizing realization on the stages of the path, and also all the past, present, future directors, SPCs, committee members, all the volunteers. May they have all the resources to be in the service of Dharma through the preservations of the legacies of our precious gurus, like Geshe Lama Subrahmanyam, His Holiness, and all other precious gurus. May clear all the inner outer secret obstacles, to do that, and so that, they have all the conducive means to, to serve the sentient being and to serve the Dharma. So then we also dedicate in emptiness, dedicate ourselves, the merit and the purpose that we dedicate, all understood it is nature lies in the emptiness, in interdependent existent. Then place faith, place trust in the nature of emptiness, in the nature of Dharma, the meaning and the benefit of the Dharma, in the nature of the blessings of the Triple Gem and all the gurus, and in the power of your pure heart, the bodhicitta heart. Then whatever wishes we made, whatever dedication we made, nothing is lost. When in the nature of interdependent existence, and when the conditions are complete, including dedicating that oneself going to liberate all sentient beings after enlightenment also will happen, So in the nature of emptiness, it works like that. So therefore, have confidence in all the merits, in all the dedications. So then rejoice in the heart. So if there's anything left, then just understand that I dedicate to all the merits of the 3 times, just like how precious gurus like Geshe Lama Subrahmanyam dedicate very extensive way. And then like Shantideva, that he did dedication in Bodhisattva Avadacharya, just like the Bodhisattva Manjushri, Bodhisattva Chenresik, Bodhisattva Samadabhadra, and how they dedicate the merit. I too dedicate just like that. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Have a good rest, good night. Yeah.